Alright, I think we're live. I think we're live. And I'm washed out. Really washed out. Oh, great. Well, it's coiffed. What did I do to my hair here? Oh boy. I'm making it worse. Whatever. Am I a little quiet? Okay. I can turn up mic. Should be pretty up already. Of course, I never give myself enough time. I always cut myself off a little bit. Alright. Tiny bit quiet. I don't know. I guess I can turn this up a little more. It's already pretty high. Guess I'll just talk louder. Of course, we're not going to have any music anyway, so at least not right now. Alright, for now, I'm going to be using... I'm not actually going to be on my PlayStation. I'm going to be using OBS to view it. I don't really need to do it that way, so... And then I'll have to add one source here for window capture. And we're going to call this... there we go. Capture cursor. Yep. Cool. Okay. I don't want you to see that right now, though. You should not be seeing that just yet. So it's not showing the full window. I don't know why that is. Oh, I guess because of the bar underneath. That's fine. We're gonna move this down here. There we go. And that is above Elgato, so we'll just turn it off for now. Okay. I don't have any good music to play though, so that kind of sucks. Wasn't ready for that. I guess we can play this for now. Which one is it? Is it this one? Whoa! Ah! Okay, let me know how the volume is on that. I can turn it down in the stream. Could even turn it down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go to 25% on the thing. If it's too loud, then I'll turn down the music a little bit, but that's gonna be our background music for now, at least until I get something better. Of course, I don't have my key light on, so I look a little washed out. Let me just try to help that a little bit. Yeah, there's really no saving that today. That's okay. I'm using a white. You know what the problem is, actually? I'm using the super white color or temperature on the LEDs, so I probably should be using a more yellow temperature to not make me look so pale. I mean, I am pretty pale, but I promise I've seen some sunlight. Okay. I think we're all set. Let me get ready here. So you should be seeing our board right now. Or I guess just our main menu, actually. And of course, Jason Peters. We're going to get a little spoiler here. Jason Peters retires. That's fine. He was like 42, I think. So no surprise there that he retires. Can I turn my mic up a little bit? I think it should be fine. I don't know. Alright. So, obviously our season ended. I'm not going to open up... We're not going to do anything off-season related. Of course, Mahomes won the Super Bowl. I hope everybody's caught up on that. Ladd McConkey was the Rookie of the Year, our division rival. Although Max Crosby won Defensive Player of the Year, so that's pretty cool. And then our other division rival won Super Bowl MVP and season MVP. That's Pat Mahomes. So it was the year of the AFC. What are we? The West? AFC West? Yes, AFC West. I knew that. Year of the AFC West here in Madden 24, 25, whatever this is. 25. Alright. We're all caught up on that. So basically now what we're going to be doing today is looking through some draft prospects. We're going to be kind of getting note of them. And then I will be switching occasionally the screen to show this window right here. Boom. And this is our draft board. So I'll go ahead and do a little preview of kind of my ideas I have. So of course this is the depth chart for the upcoming season. You can see there's a lot of areas where we need to find new players. Gardner is currently our starting QB going into next year as well. Obviously that's not going to stay the case. I probably will be cutting him. I do have a cap casualty calculator here as well. These are all the players I'm thinking of cutting. Should repeat. There we go. I'll switch song eventually, but... So we've got our cap casualties here. $51 million we could save by cutting all these players. Of course, we'd incur a $30 million penalty for doing that. So we'll have to make some decisions on what should be done. I think currently, if we go back to the... Whoop, a little bit of a learning curve here. If we go back to our salary, I think... Team salary. This should be updated now. Yeah, so you can see there's some players like Stephon Gilmore that are gone, who I'm still somewhat interested in bringing back if he is willing to come back. But you can see we currently, it looks like, have $81 million in cap space next season. So we rolled over from last season $27 million. I think like 30 something is the limit you can roll over. So $81 million, and we know that we only need to spend down to maybe 30 of it. The rest all we lose, so I think... Hey, please don't do that. Cat gonna knock down the green screen. I think I would like to do that. I honestly would almost prefer to spin down all the way to 0 if we can, depending on the type of quarterback we get. Try to give him a full-on team to work with. And so let's keep looking through the list here. So kind of get an idea of all the position holes we have, all the players I want to move on from. Currently, Caleb Farley's our cornerback 1. That's not great. I like Caleb Farley, but I prefer him more as a second option. Here are our needs. So number 1 need is QB, as I think nobody would be surprised by. That is ranked number 1. Guard is ranked 2. We have Josh Jackson Powers. Did I just say his name right? I think I just totally butchered his name. Who will be going into his second year. Jackson Powers Johnson. I got it just mixed up. Jackson Powers Johnson, not John Powers Jackson. Whatever the heck. Alright. But we do need another guard, as currently we don't have anybody to replace Cody Whitehair. Cornerback, we'll need a new cornerback. We might need 2 new cornerbacks, frankly. We need a new Mike linebacker. We did bring back Divine Diablo, but he was not fantastic. I think he was better in the run game than he was the pass game. And we do lose... Man, I'm blanking on everybody's names today. It's been a bit since I looked at this team. So I was a little bit ahead. Spillane. Robert Spillane. Before I even got to it, I knew what I was talking about. We lose Robert Spillane. I thought he was our best coverage linebacker, but even then I didn't think he was all that impressive. And then we do need to bring an offensive tackle in. We did have, we signed on Jason Peters halfway through the season to kind of take over for DJ Glaze, who was starting, the rookie. Glaze is going to be going into his second year next year. So I don't have high hopes that he starts, but he might start if we can't find anything. There are certainly options. I would like a new wide receiver. We'll be moving on from Devontae Adams this offseason. Kind of keeps it consistent with real life. As well as in the series, while I think he was good for us, I just don't know if he's worth the money. And I'd rather move on from that money now and take the hit now There will be a penalty I'll have to pay regardless, so it's not like I just get to offload the money. I also want a fullback. So, you know, we had Michael Mayer doing a lot of the blocking for us out of the fullback position this year. I'd like a dedicated fullback if we can find one in the draft, or if we can take one out of free agency. So there will be options we'll take a look at. And then probably final, like, biggest hit is safety. We are losing Marcus Epps this year. I could bring him back, but I'm kind of, you know, iffy on that. Need someone to book in with Trayvon Moehrig. And that's kind of where we're looking. Devontae Adams, we're looking to trade him. He wants to stay close to California. He wants to go to a team that's historically good, and he wants to be a Super Bowl contender. And so my 3 teams I've kind of identified for him on that front are the Cowboys, the 49ers, over here, and the Steelers. All 3 historic. All 3 are contending-ish right now to a varying degree. And only the 49ers make sense from a location standpoint. Now, I'm thinking maybe to go with the Cowboys. Just because the 49ers, if they bring back Brandon Ayuk, would not need Devontae Adams, I don't think. We'll see. And then Jacoby Myers, same deal with him. He wants warm weather, a franchise QB, and he's financially obligated, which in a trade doesn't matter too much. I don't think he would get us a whole lot of value back, though. I do have the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Rams noted as destinations for him. All right, let's keep moving on here. I've got some quarterbacks we're going to look through eventually. Tua is probably the top dog in the market. I think it's worth considering bringing Tua in. I'm not sure I will be spending that kind of money to bring him in, but we do have the money to spend. It would effectively have our cap space to bring in Tua. Outside of him, we have Zach Wilson. And I know this might sound a little goofy. I actually think Zach Wilson is a really intriguing prospect for us. He's fast. He's still fairly young. I think he's 24 years old, so he's still got quite a bit of... He's got a little bit of development he could do. I don't know if he's 24. I'll have to check on that. Behind him, Mac Jones is like a fail-safe. Mac Jones is a 73 overall, very reliable field general type. I don't think he's someone we can expect to be the starting quarterback of the future, but I do think he's someone we could expect to bring in tomorrow and maybe be as good or better than Gardner Minshew. Sam Darnold, kind of the same deal with him. Still fairly young. And then we have like Jake Browning and Tyler Huntley, who I think are 2 solid backup quarterbacks. I don't think I'd want them to start, but maybe they start if we get a rookie quarterback that I don't think is ready to start immediately. And then Trey Lance, kind of have him as a flyer option here. I don't think I'll be looking that way. In this game, he doesn't even have hidden or star development, so probably will pass on that. At cornerback, here are some of my top targets. Charvarius Ward definitely would be my #1 target. 90 overall. I think he's a very solid outside corner. Paulson Adebo, I think I'd bring in to play the slot. The Saints haven't extended him as far as I'm aware, and we should have a chance to run at him. And then another guy I'm really interested in bringing back to my team. We already brought Stephon Gilmore back to the Raiders. Well, not back to the Raiders, but back to my channel. Jeff Okudah is actually a free agent, and I think I wouldn't mind bringing him in as, like, the slot corner. So we'll see on that. I also could bring back Stephon Gilmore. I think he'll cost a little bit for being how old he is, but he is still really good. Nate Hobbs would definitely be someone I would like to bring back to the team, keep in hometown, and then some other options. At safety, we have Jimmy Ward, Jamal Adams, Justin Reed, Terrell Edmonds, and Tony Adams. These are all my top targets. Quandre Diggs and Micah Hyde, Eddie Jackson. You know, the list goes on from there. I'm not too worried about safety. We'll find somebody we want. Edge rusher is really where I think we can also make a big splashy move here to pair with Max Crosby. DeMarcus Lawrence would be fantastic. 91 overall still in this series. He hasn't regressed too much. He would be a really, really good end in the 3-4 we run. So he'll play a lot of interior rush. He might play outside sometimes as well. We'll just see how we use him. Similarly, Cameron Hayward, I think, is kind of the same type of player. Maybe not quite as good, but I think either one would be perfect. And then Chase Young, of course, we know we could bring him in. He'd be a star edge rusher paired with Max Crosby. And then Khalil Mack and Matthew Judon and Zaven Collins are all also an option. Zaven Collins more of the athletic hybrid kind of build, whereas Khalil Mack and Matthew Judon could be more every down rushers. And then we have more from there. Again, I'll go through more of this in the offseason. I just wanted to get an idea of where we're at. Before we start looking at draft prospects, we need to have an idea of who the team is now and who we want to look for in the future. Inside linebacker, we got Dre Greenlaw, JOK, Tyrell Dodson, and Isaiah Simmons. Any of these guys I'd be really excited to bring in. I wouldn't mind even bringing in two of them and and dropping Divine Diablo, honestly. I think if I could get somebody like Dre Greenlaw and Isaiah Simmons, defense looks great. Again, we got the money to do it. We just need to see who all is wanting to come here. Offensive line, #1 target in the entire NFL, Zach Martin. #2 target, Tyron Smith. We're looking to bring in the Cowboys offensive line here. Other options would be Trent Brown and David Bakhtiari. And then a lot of good options from there. But the top 2 dogs I want to bring in, Zach and Tyron. I want to make this line the Cowboys line. And then at running back. So obviously we have Alexander Madison. I'm not necessarily looking to move on from him, but you have to pay attention to some of the targets that are there. Keep your hands off Martin. I'm sorry, the Cowboys didn't extend him in this series. They have one more chance to do so. Next week, on Saturday when we do the offseason stream, the very first week we simulate, they'll have a chance. I'm not sure they have the money to do it, though. Like, let's just take a look real quick. I'm kind of curious. We gotta go to salaries here, I think. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. Now, I do expect one of them to be injured most of the time, because that's how it is. Probably both of them, honestly. Oh, wrong page. But it is a good question. Would they be able to bring him back? I don't know. So if we go to the Cowboys, you really can't see where my cursor is hanging, but cap space says $49 million. Zach Martin currently 0 years remaining, and he does not have a contract going forward. I don't know if they can bring him back because I think he's going to be expecting $30 million, and I'm not sure they can afford that. If they get him, who else do they bring back? They can't bring back Lawrence. And with their ages, there's just no way. I think they'll let them go. So yeah, running back, I had to pay attention. You got Nick Chubb. Chubb, I bring him in. And frankly, I'm sorry, Alexander Madison was great. Chubb would be my guy day one. Chuba Hubbard, I think, would be interesting. He's got a skill set that I think could complement Madison a little bit. This would kind of be signaling the end of Zamir White in Las Vegas. And then I'm thinking more third down backs. We could try to bring back Jalen Darden, Kenneth Gainwell, Elijah Mitchell, and Clyde. There's already data here. Yeah, that's fine. No, don't do that. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, would be solid third down back options. I did also look. I don't think Tony Pollard was available. I was kind of interested in him, but not as he would just get maybe 5 carries a game. But I thought that might be interesting. At wide receiver, so those deep threats I was talking about, we have Brandon Ayuk available. And I realize I'm looking at the wrong mouse cursor. There we go. We have Brandon Ayuk available. I think he's going to get re-signed by the 49ers, but if he doesn't, I think he would be a solid option to replace Devontae Adams. Kind of my issue with that is, though, I don't like paying top dollar for wide receiver, similar to how I don't like paying top dollar for running back. So I'm not sure about that. Keenan Allen would be more like Devontae Adams, but a little less talented. I don't know that I'm looking to make that move. Rashid Shaheed off New Orleans. He will be available, and Rashid Shaheed is probably my #1 target as a deep threat. I think he perfectly fits that. He's got burner speed. He's really, really solid down the field. Otherwise, we have the Chiefs' Hollywood Brown. It'd be nice to take him away from the Chiefs. So we could take in Hollywood Brown. I think Tutu Atwell could be an interesting player. I think if we wanted to replace Devontae Adams and not pay nearly as much for it, Amari Cooper is an option. I think he kind of fits that style, not as good. We could even go DeAndre Hopkins' way, a lot less dynamic, but again, you're getting a cheaper player. And then you've got players like McCole Hardman, Rondale Moore, Quez Watkins. We've got so many speed receivers in the NFL at this point. It's not going to be hard to find a good receiver that can run down the field. I've got some defensive tackles here, some outside linebackers, and some fullbacks. So we'll keep an eye on those. Oh, let's keep moving. All right, trades. Quarterback trades. Desmond Ridder is a pretty talented option. I think we could trade for from the Cardinals. He's got 1 year left on his contract, his rookie contract. I think we could give him some combination of Jacoby Myers. I don't know who Jones is off the top of my... Oh, that's Jack Jones. Cornerback Jack Jones, who's still on his rookie contract as well. I don't think he really has a place on this team. And picks, we could give them some combination of that. Kenny Pickett for the Eagles. I didn't see anything they would really want from us, so I thought we could give them picks. Neither of those are bad options, but that means we didn't hit in the draft. Like, this is after the draft. If we've still missed out on quarterback, these are emergency break glass options. And then Sam Howell, I think, would be a really good one as well. We could trade Divine Diablo, Jack Jones, picks to the Seahawks. I think that would make a lot of sense. Solid player. Marcus Jones from the Patriots is a cornerback I'm interested in trading for. I think we just have to give them picks. Maybe some late round picks should do the job. Shouldn't be anything too much. Byron Young, the edge rusher for the Rams, I think would be fun to trade them. Devontae Adams, that is. Of course, if we trade Devontae Adams, it's not 1-for-1. We're getting a lot of picks in return for that. Jacoby Myers, also definitely an option to trade to the Rams, as I've said before. And then wide receiver, this is maybe one of the most exciting players for me. Actually, two of these players. The Steelers have Calvin Austin, and you'll just have to see his speed. We'll do this in the offseason. I'm just giving you a preview. I'm excited to see Calvin Austin's speed. Same with Jalen Hyatt. Now, he hasn't been getting any playtime with the Giants. He's got 2 years left on his deal, so I think I'd be more interested in Hyatt than Calvin Austin. But either one of these guys would be good. Hyatt we could trade picks for, and Calvin Austin we could trade Devontae Adams, or we could trade Jacoby Myers for. We have some line options like Michael Winwoo and Elwinu and Mekhi Becton. Linebacker Damone Clark from the Cowboys we could trade for. We could, if we wanted to trade Devontae Adams to the Cowboys, I think that would make sense for them. He's got 1 year left on his rookie deal. 77 overall. I think we need some good compensation in return, though. And I don't know that the Cowboys have the cap space for it, is my biggest issue. And then some tackle options, both from the Cowboys as well, where we would trade Devontae Adams, Mazi Smith, and Travis Jones would be good depth pieces for us. Maybe even start at nose tackle. So, there's options. And we are finally to the main part of this broadcast, and that is the draft board. So these are just 4 quarterbacks I've noted. Eric Barnes, Justin Bradfield. Kind of right now, the story is who do we take between these two? You can see we pick at pick 8. So you can see here. Cardinals, they pick number 1. They have a good reason to go quarterback, and I think they might. And if the Cardinals go quarterback, the Patriots do not need a quarterback. They have Luke May. There's no reason now. I don't know if they would draft a quarterback. There's no reason for them to draft a quarterback. That means if the Cardinals take either Eric Barnes or Justin Bradfield, I have to trade up with the Patriots at pick 2 to get one of the other one that's not picked. That's kind of how I'm approaching this draft. I'm assuming one of them will be taken before my pick, and whenever one does get taken, that's an alarm. I need to jump in. The Falcons at pick 3, they might take a quarterback. Now they have Michael Penix and they have Kirk Cousins still. So in either case, I think they are not going to look to quarterback. They currently have Penix listed as a QB of the future. I have them as a not very likely maybe. I don't think they take them. And then we have 2 picks in a row where the Colts and the Commanders are not going to take quarterback because they have their franchise guy. I think similar to the Patriots, but I just was more confident in them. The Lions have Jared Goff, and I don't think they'll take a quarterback. I don't think they'll take a guy to sit behind them, especially not one as talented. Maybe later in the draft they take a quarterback. I have them at a soft no, only because I'm not so convinced it's not somewhat of a maybe, but I think it's a no. And the Texans, I have it a flat out no. They have CJ Stroud. What that tells me is there are 2 teams I think have a chance to take quarterback. I think 1 for sure will between these 7 teams, and I think 2 is unlikely. But again, I can't risk 2 being unlikely and just sitting until 8. So if one does take one quarterback, I am going to have to jump up. There is a world, however, and I'd say it's probably about 35 to 40% likely where we end up with both quarterbacks as an option, Eric Barnes and Justin Bradfield. And we'll take a look real quick to see. I've got some notes on them here. I don't know. I'm tossing and turning at night, you know, trying to think of which one would be better. So I'm going to be marking on my side monitor here. I'm going to be marking the players we come across. We're going to be scouting together, kind of learning as we go. I'm going to keep this song running for a little bit longer too, so let me know when it grows old. I have one more I can play, and then after that, we'll kind of just start having to piece them together. Alright. Let's look at the mock draft first. So we do have a mock draft. I think that's fair game to look at. I have not looked at mock draft 4 yet, so this is going to be kind of revealing for us. I will not be looking at mock draft 5 either, because mock draft 5 is basically what's going to happen 100%, and I don't like that. Mock draft 4 says the Cardinals are going to take Eric Barnes, and it thinks the Falcons might take Justin Bradfield. That is not good news. That is not what I wanted to start this stream with. Okay. Well, that confirms I can't look at mock draft 5, because now I will get a perfect idea, and I don't want to have that. And this has sowed the seed of, you know, dissent, as it were. I don't know now. That means I would have to trade with the Patriots at number 2, which I did anticipate. I did think was fairly likely. I just didn't expect anybody to be projected to take a second quarterback this early. Okay. It has us taking a right tackle, which I think is fair. Would have to be a pretty good right tackle, though. That pass block would have to not be a D, it'd have to be a B. And I just don't have a lot of these guys scouted. I've been putting all my points into quarterback, so it's kind of a crapshoot on a lot of these players. Say that happened and we had to take a third quarterback, I don't think I'd take one. I think we'd be looking to trade for Kenny Pickens or the other guy, Desmond Ridder. Marcus Shepard has a good spiral on his passes. He gets the ball out at the first sign of pressure. He avoids sacks. He's a balanced player. He's inside, outside pocket. And he's got a quick, compact throwing motion, so that's all pretty good. That's good. 23 years old. The other guys are 22, so I obviously like that better. Field general. You can see his athleticism is just not that impressive. He's got A awareness. Break sack could be a C. We don't know the injury. His play action's a B, so that's pretty good. His deep accuracy is a B. His medium accuracy is an A, and his short accuracy is an A. His throw on the run is a C. His under pressure is a B. Marcus Shepard's a solid option, actually. Now, it does list him as a 2 to 3 round talent, so we can expect him to be maybe low 70s, early 60s, or high 60s. So right now, we would assume that he would not be any better than Gardner or Aiden O'Connell. Now, I am looking to cut probably Gardner, and I might be looking to trade AOC. I'm not sure, but it's an option. The other quarterback we have available is Artie Peterson, who's a round 1 to 2 talent. So we know we're getting a better player, but his averages don't look as impressive. So you can see beautiful spiral. He doesn't really recognize pressure very well. He does avoid sacks. He is a sole pocket passer according to this. He is not balanced. It says the vast majority of his success comes while in the pocket. League average release time throwing. So he's not bad, but he's not great either. 22, so that's impressive. Strong arm, I like that. He's got a really nice arm. Very strong. B awareness, B break sack, B deep accuracy, A medium accuracy. So those are really impressive. Better injury rating. D play action. D short accuracy is concerning though, and that's A under pressure. So Artie Peterson's definitely an option as well. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. If we go back up, and we'll get off quarterback. We're not going to spend too much time on it after this. Eric Barnes, D short accuracy. So if we're comparing him and Justin Bradfield, and let's just go ahead and do it this way. I don't know of a better way to do this. Let's jump out of this screen, go to prospects. So these two are top to top here. They have the same awareness. Bradfield's got A short accuracy to D for Eric Barnes. Now, Eric Barnes does have a draft story. I do think he's going to have higher development. He was projected number 1, but Bradfield was projected number 2. so he should have good development as well. They have the same medium accuracy, the same deep accuracy, the same throw on the run, same throw under pressure, which is all A, by the way. A, break sack. C, play action. Really, the question here is, what is the range of the letter grade? So A could mean anything from maybe, you know, maybe he's got like a high 87 to a 91. Maybe Eric Barnes' A is a lot better than Justin Bradfield's A, and maybe Eric Barnes' D is a lot closer to Justin Bradfield's low A. So it's like a low A and a high D. We don't know. You're kind of taking a little bit of a guess on that, but still, D to A is a pretty steep difference that I feel like makes up for a lot of these other ratings. The big other one is Eric Barnes. They have two ends of the spectrum on injury. Eric Barnes has an A. Justin Bradfield has an F. That is something to consider. Bradfield could end up being a very serious liability at quarterback, just off that alone. I do lean Bradfield, I think, but I don't know. I really don't know. I might not have to think about it too much, though, because it's a good chance the team takes him now, I'm realizing. If we look at their physicals, both are improvisers. Barnes is a little faster, so he has great good acceleration compared to good solid. They have the same agility. Change of direction goes to Bradfield. Jumping goes to Barnes. Those don't really matter. And then they both have good solid speed. So I imagine Eric Barnes will be a better athlete than Justin Bradfield, but Bradfield's still very functional mobility. Definitely will be able to scramble for a first down, I imagine. We'll find out more when we get the combine unlocked. Yeah, we don't have that yet. Okay. That's it on quarterback. We're going to start looking by need now. And we're going to start with guard. So we're going to kind of take a look at that. And we're going to look nationally. So let's start with left guard here. Obviously, we don't have any talent grades, and we only have this many projected talent ratings. So we're going to stick with these for now. I will comb the undrafted free agent projecteds on my own time. I'll do that between now and Saturday. So we have a round one guy. And he's got, let's just take a look at him, and then we'll compare. So he's got A awareness, A impact blocking, B pass block, but that run block could be a C to an F. He has good discipline, so that's very important. I do look for that, especially after this last year. We got penalized a lot for holding. Now he's 6'6", so this guy's built like a tackle. And his strength is great to good. Speed, jumping is marginal, change of direction is okay, agility is okay, acceleration is pretty decent. So he's a fairly decent athlete. Injury's a little concerning because that could be an F. Again, C could be good, F not so good. Lead block A to C, again, I like to pull a lot with my guards, so an A there makes a big difference, whereas C, I just don't know if I can go with that. B pass block, but D pass block finesse, B pass block power, that's good. I prefer him being better in power game. Run blocking, again, C to F. Run block power, A to C. Run block finesse, C to F. So expect that run block finesse to be more like a D, and the run blocking as a whole to maybe be a C or a D as well. And then stamina an F. That's not a super interesting player in my opinion. Now we're going to take a look at the other three. So awareness, it looks like the bottom two guys are going to be a little better than Sammy Tyson here. Pass blocking, pretty intrigued. These are pass protectors though. So right now, Cam Reddick is interesting as a prospect. You're almost certainly getting a really good pass blocker. A to C pass block. If that's an A, this guy is a stud pass blocker. He's a first rounder in my opinion. At 6'4", of course his run blocking is really weak, so that might not fit what we're looking for either. But when you think about the fact that we're bringing in a rookie quarterback, I might start to shift away from the heavy run game a little bit and start looking to beef up my offensive line pass protection wise. Above him is below him is Ralph Swinton, who was graded a few rounds behind him. Could be the same awareness. Pass blocking is an A, so we know for a fact he's going to have good pass blocking. Pass block power and pass block finesse could be on the lower end, though. We have no idea right now. And then his run blocking as a whole looks like will be better, actually. It will just be flat out better. So Ralph Swinton might be a more overall complete player. But again, stamina not good and injury not good either. So that leaves Sammy Tyson, agile, which isn't quite what I'm looking for. He does have solid lead and impact block at A's. Run block finesse is higher than run block power for him, probably. Run blocking to B, and then pass block finesse and A. Not really what I'm looking for, and the stamina and injury aren't super impressive either. Right now, I wouldn't say our answer's coming at left guard. Let's look at right guard. So we have a first-round talent here, Montrell Stevenson. 22 years old. Again, 6'6", man. What are they? They're feeding these guards something crazy. Won't get flagged much, and he does have a good motor. Looks like his strength is on the lower end. That's not super great. That already has me thinking of the other guy a little more so. Of course, he's not a tackle, so it's not as important. Looks like he's somewhat athletic. Skills, he's got a B, awareness, B, injury, so, and then what's his stamina? B to D. So if that's on the higher end, solid player from the intangibles. His impact blocking looks to be decent if it's on the higher end. His lead blocking, again, on the higher end might be good. His pass blocking is not bad. B, D, and B is certainly solid. And then his run block is a B. His run block power, if that is an A, and the run block finesse is a C, and not an F, solid player. But we're not probably looking to get back into the first round anyway. So we got some more guys here. We got 4 more. Anywhere between round 2 and day 3. Okay, so awareness is gonna go to Kyle Burbank and Chandler Moore right off the bat here. We've got another pass protector, and then 3 agiles. So let's look at Moore first, and then we'll compare the agiles. Moore A to C pass block with A pass block power and A pass block finesse. If that's an A, again, this is a can't miss type of player, especially in round 3 at 21 years old. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and add him to my favorites. That's pretty darn intriguing. Run block is a B, and then his run block power and finesse are gonna be weak. So D lead block, B impact. This would be the type of player I'd bring in if I had another guard already, and I kind of wanted him to either be a backup or a spot starting pass pro guy. I don't love his run blocking. Alright, the other 3 players here. Awareness is not super great on any of them, except for Kyle Burbank's alright. Pass blocking is roughly all the same, but Burbank could be better than them. Burbank could be decent at pass blocking, whereas they are just going to be not good. Run blocking, this is not super impressive on any front, frankly. Now, I know they're agile, which means impact block is an A and lead block is an A to C. Right now, Burbank would interest me if some of those ratings are on the higher end, but right now, the only guard I've seen that I'd actually be interested in taking is Chandler Moore. That was a pretty unimpressive class. Center, maybe? I can't say on any of these guys. Of course, I didn't look at, let's look at one more thing real quick. I didn't look at strength. So, really good strength on the first guy here, David Homan. And then solid to decent. Decent to marginal. Who else was supposed to be? Yeah, so horrible strength on these guys. If we look at right guard, of course, our guy was Chandler Moore. That's who we were really interested in. And Chandler Moore's got good strength, so good to solid strength. I think he's gonna maybe even have hidden development. It depends on his combine scores. Decent marginal the rest on these guys. I mean, Burbank is also, again, someone I'll set as a favorite. I think Burbank could be good. This is pretty unimpressive, I'm not gonna lie. Burbank's got really good acceleration and agility, actually, and speed. So, that's definitely something to keep in mind. At center, we have one with elite strength here, and that is a round 3 to 4 player, George Bolton. A awareness, A to C impact block, C pass block, shows a good discipline and a good motor. Really good physicals here. Run block powers on the low end, or no, pass block powers on the low end. Pass block finesse at a B, pass block at a C. Run block A to C, run block finesse A to C, run block power C. Bolton's someone that I think I'd be interested in bringing in. Let's look at... Well, these are centers. I'm not really needing a center. Not that you can't turn a center into one, but... yeah, I don't think I want to look at them anymore. Okay, let's look at cornerback now. One guy I have a draft story on, and let me find that draft story. So I need to open up my notepad here. Alright, this is Miles Harris. I have that he is a good returner with good ball skills. Let's take a look at him. D catching. That's good ball skills. Okay. Savvy defender with the ball in the air, has a motor that runs through the whistle, often looks to rip the ball from players, and shows good discipline. Those are all very good things. Looks like the Colts are going to take him twice. Good job, Madden 25. His true talent's round 2 to 3. So he's projected to go right where he should go. 22 years old, 6'3" though. So he's a big man corner with A press. A man coverage. Ooh. Now he's not athletic. Okay. I'm gonna change the song after this, by the way. Actually, let's just go ahead and change it. I'm growing a little tired of it. Of course, I could turn it off, but I'm not gonna do that. Let's do this one. Okay. Miles Harris. Accelerate. Man, he's really unathletic, though. B block shedding is fantastic. Great injury. His kick return is not good, so I don't know what they're talking about there. A man coverage, A press, A tackling, F stamina. Man, what kind of player is this? He can do so many things excellently, and he sucks at everything else. I'm gonna bookmark him. I already did. That's not super impressive though. I even did a focus scouting on him. You can see, wow, that's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so I kind of want to see what's like the top end of zone. B. B is kind of the top of zone we can get. And Max Woodard is one of those guys that is projected to go in the first round. Solid round 1, it looks like. A catching, so that's really impressive. Savvy defender, has a motor, shows rip, disciplined. Good speed, good acceleration. Thinking probably in the 90s, the low 90s on this. That's certainly good enough. Change of direction's really solid too, and agility, not as good. So it might be more of an outside receiver. B press though, A catching, B man coverage, B zone. Oh man, this is a good player right here. There's no way he's going to be available for us though, but I will put Max Woodard on the list. I'm going to make a note here. Just the people I want to second check on later on when I'm kind of formatting my list. We'll just go down the list here. Deshaun Pendleton. He is a man coverage corner, 23 years old, 5'11", so he's a little tinier. Aggressive ball hawk for better and worse. I actually prefer that, honestly. Physical speed, pretty decent. Not amazing. Acceleration's really good. Agility and change of direction are good. This guy maybe plays the slot for me, although he has B press. If that man coverage is on the higher end, the zone coverage is already really good. Yeah, I could see this guy being pretty special. I can't remember if I made this class with weak cornerbacks or not. It might be a good cornerback class. And if that's the case, then we can assume a lot of these guys are going to be a lot more talented than I normally want them to. I think you kind of still want to have cornerbacks weak. But we're going to mark down Deshaun Pendleton. Definitely someone I'm interested in. Let's look at Matthew Wall now. Wall is a slot corner, so that's kind of something I'm really looking forward to. Savvy defender. B catching. D on his coverages, though. Really good acceleration, really poor speed. Agility and change of direction are okay. C press, D man, D zone. Yeah, there's no way. Alright, so I'm not interested in him at all. I think I'll just look through the round 3 to 4 guys, maybe. Brian Malone. Man-to-man, 6'1". Poor speed. I can't even rationalize that at all. At best case, he's solid and decent on speed. That's not very good. That's probably in the 80s, like 86 maybe. Maybe a little higher, I don't know. B press, C man, D zone. Not seeing it with Brian Malone. Fabian Hyde. Fabian. Struggles to find the ball in the air. That's not a good start. He's a zone archetype with C zone. Okay, he's a better athlete, actually. So maybe like high 80s, low 90s on speed excel. But his change of direction and his agility aren't good enough, in my opinion, to play slot at all. B press is definitely intriguing. So he might have in the 70s, like the low 70s of press, or maybe even the mid 70s. That's not bad. Tackling's good. I'm not out on Fabian Hyde, but I'm not super intrigued either. And then Jalen Allen, a zone corner with C zone, D press. The marginal, no, I'm out on marginals, poor speed. That's just crap. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see. Man, my nose is killing me. Let's see the top guys at press coverage. Miles Harris, as we know. And then we have some guys down here. Deshaun Pendleton, Brian Malone we've looked at, Fabian Hyde. Junior Terry. I'm going to leave out the UDFAs. Again, I'll look through those myself. Let's look at Nick Davison. Man-to-man, 6'2". I like that already. C-man coverage. That's decent. Savvy defender. Okay. Acceleration. Decent. Speed, marginal to poor. Even if that's marginal, that's not good. D zone, B tackling, I don't know. I'm not super impressed by that. Let's look at the top zone guys. We already looked Max Woodard and Deshaun Pendleton. And then it's just, that's it. That's it in the draft. You get two guys down here. I mean, John Hartwell. You might have a guy down here at Sheldon Cadet, but man, that's really bad. Okay. Man coverage, Miles Harris and Deshaun Pendleton. Woodard, Ezra Bennett. We'll look at him. Interesting. Nate Wilkinson from Texas. Let's take a look at him. 21 years old. Struggles to find a ball. That's not good. Acceleration and speed. Speed's good. Acceleration not as good. But for day 3, this might not be bad. C press, that's less than appealing. That would need a lot of work. B tackling. A kick return though, so he could be a good kick returner. Although I'd like him to have a little more speed. But this is an interesting player. Nate Wilkinson. And then I think I saw someone else. Ezra Bennett. Braylon Pearman. I don't know. I'm just really unimpressed with most of these corners. The top guys are really, really good, and then from there, it's kind of a pretty steep dip. We have 3 guys that are elite to great speed. Braylon Pearman, okay, let's take a second look at him. Savvy defender, motor, looks to rip the ball, and doesn't get flagged much. Marginal to poor speed. So his burst is insane, but his top end speed sucks. Agility and change of direction are good. See, if that were flipped, where he had elite acceleration. No, he does. Okay, actually, I've got an interesting view of this guy here. He is a slot. That's exactly what I was thinking. A tackling, that's really good. A to C block shed. If that's an A, B to D man coverage and D zone coverage with C to F press. I don't care about his press if he's a slot. Okay, I'm actually going to have to be a little interested in Braylon Pearman. We'll mark him down. There's just a blend of traits there that would be worth a day 3 flyer, I think. With a little more data. I need more data. Got like something on my shift key. What is this? Now it's gone. Alright. I know this isn't super exciting. I apologize a little bit for that. I wanted to get something in, you know, so it's not just Monday to Saturday, and I wasn't ready to do the off-season stream yet. Saturday's when it's coming, but I thought this was needed. Speed, nobody elite speed here, but we do have 4 with great to good. Nate Wilkinson, we looked at him. Acceleration's not great. Solid speed on Byron Gaither. I mean, Wilkinson, I don't know. This is just really unimpressive as a whole. Anybody with like a leap out of the gym kind of jumps? Deshaun Pendleton. Matthew Wall. I think we looked at him. I don't think I was super impressed with him. Yeah, the speed's not good. I mean, he does play slot, so Matthew Wall could still be interesting if he had good coverages. What were his coverages? D zone D, man. Nah. That's just awful. Alright. I gotta tell you, I'm not really impressed so far with defensive players. We got Mike linebacker now. Late round picks here, but that's kind of how Mike linebackers are. They all have A awareness. Play rec looks like it starts at the top and goes down, but we do know that Delvin Richards is going to be really smart, and he doesn't even have field general. So that to me is interesting. Some lag. Oh shoot, we dropped 0.3% of frames. Yeah. Looks like the bitrate kind of started dying on me here. I wonder. Check one thing real quick. I'm not sure why that would be. 11 megabits, still not enough to actually give us a solid stream. A little disappointing. Yeah, we're dropping quite a bit now. You gotta be joking me. Check one more thing here. Yeah, looks like we're good now. Unfortunately, I can't really do much. We just dropped 1,400 frames, but, you know, that sucks. I think I'm streaming at 6,000. Maybe I need to I need to lower that a little bit, but it should be fine. It's just if our network fluctuates at all, we're gonna drop frames. So thankfully we're not playing a game right now. That would have been bad. All right. So we've got some smart players here. They all have comparable tackling. Hit power is all pretty comparable. Block shedding. So Dalvin Richards, again, if he's a B here, he lines up with a lot of these guys. These guys don't separate at all when it comes to their skill sets. Power move and finesse moves, I'm not too concerned with those, but if those are on the higher end, that would be nice. Pursuit, looks like John Cowart is maybe the best at that. And then man coverage, zone coverage. Okay, John Cowart. Kind of interesting here. So Cowart and Coleman both have good zone. And potentially C-man. Okay. Well, that's certainly something to consider. Let's look at physicals here. Acceleration being the first and biggest thing. Coleman. Okay, so Coleman's great to good. Cowart's down here at good to solid. That's still not bad. And then speed. Ooh, elite to great for Coleman. And elite to great for Cowart. Okay. Alright. Jumping good to solid for Cowart. Cowart. Great to good agility and solid decent. Cowart's got to go on the list here. Okay. Physical player who delivers bone-crushing hits. Savvy defender with the ball in the air. Has a motor that runs through the whistle. Looks to rip the ball from runners and shows good discipline. Great physicals here. A awareness. A zone coverage. Okay, yeah, this guy is definitely on the list. I am going to consider Coleman as well, though. Let's take a look at him. Okay, those are all good. Physicals are pretty good. A zone. D pursuit's not fantastic, though. A hit power. It depends on what a lot of these ratings are, I think. And then I see some pass coverage guys down here. And I just want to know, agility's elite to great for Brandon Wells. Change of direction for Brandon Wells, great to good. Okay. So Brandon Wells down here at round 3 to 4. What is his coverage? B to Z zone coverage. So he's already got worse coverage. And man coverage is B to D as well. So if both of those are a B, very interesting player. I think I'm going to put Brandon Wells on my kind of watch list here. What's his name? Jackson Coleman. I'm going to just hope to unlock a few more of those. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of guesswork on which one. They're all very tightly packed, and so that makes it pretty tough. Derek Bailey, let's just take a look at him. F pursuit, F block shedding. Now he does have B zone. Man is a C. That's not bad. Agility and change of direction aren't good. Acceleration's not bad, though. He's day 3. And Andrew Callum. 21. So that's good. Decent. Speed. Agility and change of direction are okay. They're definitely good. B zone C man. So, okay. Callum's not bad. D pursuit still. B awareness, D block shedding. Not one of my preferences, but... Alright, I think we've got our list at Mike linebacker. And if anybody so far has caught y'all's eye, let me know. Right now, obviously, I think all the hype's going to be behind quarterback and what do we do, who takes who takes whom, I suppose. But there's definitely some options here at other positions that I think are interesting. Just maybe not as exciting. Alright, now it's offensive tackle. And I do have some guys here. There's a lot of talent, it looks like, potentially here at left tackle and then right tackle even. Let's just take a look at the top guy here, Keith Forbes. Definitely someone that we could look to take. I can't remember who we were projected to take. Yeah, I don't remember. Okay, physical strength could be really, really good. Great would be awesome. Acceleration, agility, change direction, all solid. Speed, solid. Yeah, he's gonna be athletically pretty good. A, awareness. B, run block. What is he supposed to be? Power. Okay. So having C, run block, finesse isn't bad at all. And then B, run block, I do like that. His pass blocking, if that's a B pass block, a C finesse, and B power, this guy is a top 10 player for sure. Lead blocking as well. I mean, there's just a lot of unknown on this guy. I'll kind of be waiting on him to see. Cortland Wagner at 23. A pass blocker. 6'7", I like that a lot. Strength sucks. Wow, marginal of 4. Okay. And his pass blocking is solid, but this is a... To me, this is a day 2 guy right here. Right? I mean... I'm just not seeing it with him. True talents would be interesting. We're so close to having some of these guys true talents. Chad Peters out of Notre Dame. Now they kind of churn out the good linemen here in the South Bend. Let's see. Decent to marginal strength is not great. A, awareness. A, pass block power. A, pass block finesse. If that's A, pass block, yeah, he's kind of a can't miss player. Even has C's across the board on run blocking, except for run block power, which is low. So I think this is a top of round 2, maybe a late round 1 guy that I'd be interested in taking, but we'd have to have the pick for him, and I just don't know that we're going to have that. But I'm going to put Chad Peters on the board here. Let me know when this one's gone on too long as well. I think we're at about 15 minutes of it running. Devontae Wheatley, day 3. So it drops down pretty steeply. So we're gonna not... I guess let's just look at the ratings here. Okay, so A, awareness. That's pretty impressive. Anything stand out? B, pass block power stands out. B, pass block finesse. F, C, and F. I don't know. And Blackburn doesn't even look like someone I'd be interested in taking. Okay. Alright. Let's go over to left tackle. So we'll start with LaMichael Madden. And we have a lot of round 1 projecteds here. Madden's an agile tackle with good to solid strength. That's okay. He does have really good acceleration and speed, though, and agility. Looks like he's going to have A, impact blocking, and A, lead blocking, so that makes sense. A, run block finesse. So run block power is bad. If that run block isn't A, this guy is a mover on the line. Although his strength still isn't fantastic, but that's okay. Pass block power... Pass block finesse is an A to C. If that's BAC, hopefully his BAC is low, but that would be pretty impressive. I'm not going to mark him down just yet because a lot of unknowns, and so far they could be on the far end of that. What about Owen Nicholson? 6'8" out of West Virginia. So he's a true mountain guy here. Elite to great strength. Okay, this is someone we need to start paying attention to then. Skills. A, awareness. A, impact block. A, lead block. So even though he is a power guy, he's got that lead and that impact block. A, injuries really, really important on the line. His pass blocking, the power is good. It's not going to be great. So it would need to be worked on day 1. Run blocking is a B, run block power is an A, run block finesse is a D. I'm going to put Owen Nicholson on the list here. I'm not super impressed with the pass blocking. And again, I don't want my rookie quarterback to go out there and get killed, but I still think that's something we could work with. We have a pass protector, Will Caldwell, 6'7" out of Tennessee. Not very good strength, though. And his pass blocking solid. So if that's an A pass block, this is another guy like Chad Peters, can't miss. B injury is really impressive. Impact block and lead block. The run blocking doesn't look bad either. Will Caldwell's gonna go on the board for sure. Oh man, we're about an hour in. We don't have too much more to do, honestly, scouting wise. Again, a lot of the undrafted stuff I'll be looking through. I was kind of just looking to see if there were any guys that popped. But I am starting to get a little hungry, so this might end fairly soon. Thank you to everyone watching. Now I see we're up to 7 views on the stream. That's pretty awesome. I don't think that's currently, but that's okay. 6'4", Earl Wilson. That's a little tiny. Solid to decent strength. This guy's a guard. He is a power player. A run block power, B to C pass block power. Round 1 and 2, I'm not looking to take somebody like this though. You got to be better round 1 to 2, and I just don't see it with him. Final round 1 to 2 guy here, Jake Pittman. Pass protector, 6'5", 23 years old. Bad strength once again. But A, and A across the board for pass block. A impact block. And he could end up being a decent run blocker. I think Jake Pittman's an interesting character here. We're going to add him to the list. I don't like how these pass protectors don't have good strength. That means their run game upside isn't, in my opinion, very strong. And then we have 3 straight pass protectors, so we're going to kind of use the attributes here to separate them. Awareness could be the same on all of them. Pass blocking goes to either Philip Hay or Greg Middleton or Trayvon Lawrence. Pass block power, again, goes to those 2. Pass block finesse goes to Greg Middleton. So right now, Greg Middleton, to me, screams a little better. From Texas. Run blocking's better. Yeah, right now, I'd have to say he's my pick if it's one of these guys. A is interesting, though, from an injury standpoint. Let's look at physicals for these guys. It was Middleton, Hayes, and Lawrence. And we're looking at one in particular, strength. It's bad across the board. I mean, the best one here is Hayes, but even that's not great. So you just don't get good strength with these run blockers. Last one we'll look at is DeAndre James, a power blocker from Notre Dame. Strength is not that impressive. Run blocking's not all that impressive, and his pass blocking's worse. Is a low 60s player, if even that. Alright, that's offensive tackle. Wide receiver. Now we look at wide receiver. Let's look at fullback first, actually. Why not? So there's some guys I've already identified here. I think there's only 2 I'm really interested in. First is Josh Purcell from Memphis. Covets ball security over everything else. That's good. He does drop the ball a little bit, though. Apparently, fights for every inch as a runner. Avoids big hits after catches. Excels at creating yards after the catch. Okay. Elite to great strength. That's really good. Speed and acceleration aren't bad if those are on the higher end. I think that's doable on the occasional run and running for passes. Pretty good agility. And then his ratings. A impact block. A run block power. B pass block. A to C run block. A to C run block finesse. If these are all on the higher end, this is going to be a really, really special fullback. Of course, he's not even projected to be drafted. So he'll be there for us in round 7, probably. We don't have to worry about this one. I don't think teams draft fullbacks in this game. And then the other option was Clay Cartwright. Cartwright? Who's Cartwright? Utility. Covets ball security, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Elite to great strength, or speed, sorry. Strength is bad on him. Acceleration solid and decent. Okay. So he's going to be fast, but maybe not insanely fast. Good change of direction, though. And then we look at his skill set. A, carrying. His blocking could still be okay. It's going to be on the weaker end, though. He won't be as good as Michael Mayer, which has me a little questioning that. Let's play a new song. What do we got here? Okay, F break tackles less than impressive. A to C beat ball carrying vision. A to C juke move. A to C short route though, so that's interesting. This is someone that is less interesting to me, but still could be definitely a player we look to target. And then let's look at wide receiver. I think wide receiver is kind of the last we're gonna do. I do have other position groups on this list, but I didn't want this to be a long string. I just kind of wanted to get through some of these. So let's do wide receiver. First, we got Dakota Johnson. Now, Dakota Johnson does have a draft story on him. I don't think anybody else I've noted has a draft story. I'm looking at... John Cowart had a draft story. He did not do well at the All-Star game, so that's important to keep note of. Looks like Matt Vaughn, an undrafted free agent. We'll have to look at him. I'll look at him. We'll talk about that in the offseason stream. Okay, so Dakota Johnson. He's a playmaker, 6'2", so not probably. Well, I get the boy slot. Won't get flagged much. Excels at creating yards after catch. Avoids big hits. No issue climbing the ladder. Fights for every single inch. Exceptional body control on the sidelines and needs to work on his concentration drops. All right. His physicals. Solid to decent speed, solid to decent acceleration. I'm kind of already out on that. If he's running like a 4.6 or something, that's just not interesting to me. Unless his route runnings are just that good. Jumping's not even that good. He does have decent agility, but nothing to write home about. A spec catch, C catching, D catching traffic. B medium deep route, B short route, B medium route. So this guy's a route runner. He does have some ball moves, maybe, potentially. Doesn't really say. I'm not super in on Dakota Johnson. Let's keep looking here. There's a lot of guys. JD Steele, let's look at him. So Steele I had a draft story on. And it was that he beat cornerback Matthew Wall. Now, we looked at Wall, and I did not make his or write his name down. So, Steele, I think, is a little more intriguing. Needs to work on drops, exceptional body control, fights for every inch, climbs the ladder. So he's got all three types of catching. Shows good discipline. He is also a playmaker that's 6'2". He is 23 years old. Elite to great acceleration, good or solid to decent speed. Okay, so maybe more of a slot in that he has good burst. He is solid round 1 talent, so I'm thinking maybe mid-70s, maybe low 70s. It depends on what the highest player is in this draft. Probably like 73, maybe? Just my rough guess. I'll have to come back on the stream and see if that was right. He has A medium route running, B deep route running, C short route running. I would have loved that. If that C short running was an A, this guy probably would have been my top wide receiver target. Great ball skills, it looks like, but running skills, catching traffic and catching a D, a spectacular catch. I'm kind of out on that too. Alright, so we kind of looked at like the players I have scouted fairly well. Let's look at not combine physicals here. Let's look at speed. We have 2 elite speedsters here that are also elite to great acceleration. And one's a UDFA and one's a day 3. Okay. Interesting. Let's look at the day 3 here. Will Bailey. He has all 3 types of catch. Fights for every inch. Exceptional body control. So he's got the same thing as everyone else. 6 foot deep threat. Hi, buddy. Elite to great jumping. So this guy's a combine star. And here comes a cat into my lap. That's telling me it's almost time for dinner. Change of direction is great. Elite to great. And agility is elite to great. Okay. I know he's day 3 and his skill set might not be good, but this guy has all the athleticism to make it happen here. D short route running, C to F deep route running, and F medium route running. So basically you're getting a guy that can't run a route. He just runs down the field. He can't catch the ball either. He has a spectacular catch. This guy is a track star. He needs to change out of football and go run track. What are you doing catching footballs? Well, you're not catching footballs. I will put him down as a returner. A returner option. Think Cavante Turpin, but a lot worse. A lot more dynamic, but also a lot worse. Because that's some pretty horrible skills right there. Other one was Dean Babb, who also had elite to great acceleration. Has all 3 types of catch, fights for every inch, exceptional body control, has the same exact stuff as everyone else. That's kind of annoying. Change direction is not as good, so he might not be as elite of an athlete. But he has A spec catch, D catching traffic, F catching, E short route running. So he's basically the same kind of player here, but worse. Okay. Yeah, that's not super interesting. Alright, what else do we have here? Because it doesn't have to be like elite speed. It definitely can be great speed. We have some great to goods here. None of them have elite acceleration, so we have we have 3 great to good acceleration and speeds, and that is Kendrick Blackburn, Floyd Whitehead, and Tevin Barnett. Yeah. Let's look at Barnett first, and then we'll put Blackburn and Whitehead, and then we'll probably be done with the stream, I think. So Tevin Barnett has the same stuff as everyone else. Again, it's frustrating. Good speed, good acceleration. Agility and change of direction aren't what I would look for in a slot receiver. I would like those to be a little better. And there goes the cat. No? Cat standing up. What are you doing? It's the tail. What's the plan, kid? Let's look at his route running. D short, medium, B short, and F deep. Catching is not the worst I've seen. Okay. It's annoying me. That's kind of interesting. Hey! Biting my cables. Alright, Kendrick Blackburn. I think we already looked at him, didn't we? A deep, B release. This guy can only run a deep route. He just runs all streaks every single time. Man, these wide receivers, I don't know. I don't think this is where our answer is going to come from. Floyd Whitehead, UDFA, 24 years old, with F catching and F catching traffic. Lovely. C deep route running for a deep threat. I can't justify that. That's terrible. That's an awful player. Quit football. Just quit. Okay. Maybe top end agility? Will Bailey and D. We've already looked at them. Change of direction. Will Bailey. Jeff Thomas? And Quentin Callaway. Last 2 players we're going to look at here. Playmaker Quentin Callaway. Out of Georgia. So don't give him keys to a car. But maybe you can give him keys to your offense. Elite to great acceleration, elite to great change of direction, great to good agility. Speed is decent to marginal, but with those, and if he plays the slot, that's already really interesting to me. C short route running, B deep route running, C to F medium, if that's a little on the, if that's a C medium. A spec catch, B catching, C catching traffic with good ball skills. Quentin Callaway, 21 years old. I'm gonna mark him down. I think Quentin Callaway to me would be a lot like that Trey Tucker type. I don't know if that's something we need, but it's certainly an option. What was the other one? Jeff Thomas. And this is a 3 to 4 guy here. Alright. Thomas has all the same as everyone else. Again, acceleration is great to good. Speed is decent to solid. Agility and change of direction are really, really good, though. That's interesting. B medium route running, F deep, and C to F short. So this is the guy you hit over the middle of the field, I guess. A catching, B catching traffic, and F spec catch, though. I'm gonna mark him down. Round 4, maybe I'd take a shot at him. I mean, if his juke and his spin are good enough. Like, what's his juking? I don't know. Not super impressed so far with the wide receivers. And I think that's kind of it. I mean, maybe if we look at, like, attributes, what would I be interested in? Well, who's got the best release here? Kendrick Blackburn, Eric Brinkley. Okay, so there are other options. Brinkley and Copels. Maybe these are our last two here. So let's look at Copels. He's a physical wide receiver, really good release. Good to solid speed, good to solid acceleration. That's not bad. Great elite strength. B short route running, B medium route running. Kind of thinking, you know, maybe Jacoby Myers-esque a little bit. Great catching though across the board. Not super dynamic. This is a Devontae Parker comp kind of to me. It's interesting. It's definitely something I'm considering. Let's look at Brinkley now. Physical, 6'3". Speed's not there. Skills. Nah. Okay. I mean, I think that's gonna be it for us. We looked through a lot of players here, and I think we've got some ideas, but I don't know if right now I really know what to do outside of round 1. I'm not super convinced with a lot of these players, but we'll take a look. I'm gonna cut the music off. So I think that's gonna be it. Definitely let me know in the comments who you're interested in. Let me know what you think I should do after quarterback. You watch the games this year. You tell me, what do I need to improve in most? Remember, Davante Adams is going. You can look at our wide receiver grades. I don't know if that's ours or is that the quarterback class. I think, yeah, that's grading our current situation. So you can see, like, quarterback. Well, that doesn't count. Running back maybe is fine, but wide receiver, we definitely could use some improvement there. Line across the board is pretty darn solid, but we're going to need to shore up the right side of the line. And then on defense, it's kind of like figuring out that other edge rusher situation and shoring up Mike linebacker. But again, these are things that, you know, I'll be looking through until Saturday. I'll try to come up with a game plan. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. Kind of a short stream here just to remind you that the stream's coming up Saturday. We'll be doing the draft then. So, yeah, I guess I'm gone. Peace.